In ancient Rome, military discipline formed the empire's backbone. Roman legionaries earned their fearsome reputation through unwavering command obedience and battlefield courage. To maintain this iron discipline at all costs, Romans occasionally employed extreme punishments, with decimation ranking as the most dreaded. But what exactly happened during and after this infamous punishment? Decimation derived from the Latin decimatio, meaning removal of a tenth, represented punishment imposed on military units committing serious offenses like desertion or outright disobedience. When implemented, it resulted in executing one soldier from every 10 men, selected randomly. The selection process for these decimates typically occurred impersonally, through drawing lots, making the punishment even more terrifying. Any legionnaire, regardless of status or value within the unit, might be chosen. Execution methods varied, though most commonly death came through stoning or, more psychologically devastating, being killed by their fellow legionnaires. Though decimation represented an extraordinary rare punishment, its impact resonated deeply. Commanders reserved it for the dire circumstances when a legion's discipline had completely collapsed and required immediate restoration. The intent wasn't merely punishing the guilty, but demonstrating the survivors the consequences of disobedience or battlefield desertion. The term decimation consequently became synonymous with extreme severity, representing one of the most feared punishments within Roman military culture. After a commander's decimation decree, soldiers from the condemned unit would assemble to face the selection process. The entire legion would organize into groups of 10 men with orders that one man from each group would face death. Condemned soldiers were typically separated from their comrades and taken to designated execution locations. The remaining legionnaires, including those who escaped selection, were forced to witness the entire procedure. After this brutal ritual, surviving soldiers who had been compelled to execute their comrades face psychological trauma far exceeding any physical battle's horrors. The act of killing a brother in arms, someone with whom they had trained, fought, and shared both hardships and triumphs, created profound emotional scarring. Though officially ordered by commanders, the guilt and weight of these actions fell directly on the soldiers. Those who executed the chosen ones couldn't simply compartmentalize what they had done. The images of their companions falling before them, killed by their own hands, haunted them long after decimation concluded. Additionally, the remaining legionnaires who survived selection carried their own psychological burdens as witnesses. Beyond watching the karmas die, they lived with knowledge that the killings represented their collective failure, causing many to question their loyalties and positions within the unit. The dishonor and sense of unworthiness plagued everyone regardless of their direct involvement in the decimation process. For units condemned to decimation, punishment didn't end with executions. Remaining soldiers, though spared death, faced continued sanctions through forced isolation outside the Roman camp's productive walls. This punishment was called extramuros. Roman military encampments were surrounded by substantial walls, whether in friendly or enemy territory. Within these protective barriers, soldiers enjoyed numerous facilities, regular food provisions, bathing facilities, medical treatment, and most importantly, the camaraderie of fellow soldiers. When forced to live outside the walls, soldiers essentially face uncertainty and danger. Outside the walls, they lost protection and face increased risks from enemy attacks or bandit raids, particularly in hostile territories. Life beyond the walls also meant separation from the logistical hub, making access to provisions and medical care difficult. Soldiers became vulnerable to weather extremes, disease, and psychological isolation. Furthermore, extramural shelters weren't constructed with the same materials or care as main camp facilities. conditions proved substantially worse, especially in harsh climate regions or during extended campaigns. The duration soldiers spent outside the walls wasn't fixed. It depended on numerous factors, including offense severity, commander assessment, and the Legion's specific circumstances.